you guys have trouble with humidity in your house, garage, crawl space, office, and you want something durable, sturdy that you can count on, that it's gonna work, it's gonna last long. So I got a unit right here, dehumidifier here. So let's take a look at it, kind of go over the features and all that. So as you can see, it's all metal, which is very nice, very durable. Compared to plastic dehumidifiers, plastic breaks easily, but this is definitely going to be, going to last for a long time. If we look at here, we got our power cord, we got a connection for your remote control. So they do have an option, you can buy a remote control separately. It's 30 feet long wire, so let's say you put it in a crawl space somewhere, you don't want to, and let's say in the future you put it in a crawl space and then all of a sudden you want to check on it and see if everything's okay. You can always have the remote control in your house. You can take a look at it. It'll give you all the information, same information that that you'll have here on the screen. But the unit is going to be in a crawl space, and the remote control is going to be inside the house. That is very convenient, very nice. And plus wire connection, which is 100%. You're not going to lose connection between the remote control and the unit. So wire is definitely the way to go for making sure that nothing happens between the connection. So this is how it looks. Screen right here. So it's basic controls, nothing crazy and fancy with a bunch of features. A bunch of features means a bunch of stuff is gonna break. This unit is straightforward, just dehumidifier. You control the humidity, you set it where you want it, and it works. And that's it. Nothing crazy, nothing super complicated. Just simple, straightforward. What it's supposed to do. Like I said, little screen here. Your buttons control the humidity. You can set a timer here. And that's pretty much it. So that's very nice. You got two handles to carry it. This humidifier is a little bit on the heavier side, so you want to keep in mind that. As you can see, this is where air goes in, and then the fan here, the air blows out on the back. Very nice, very simple. They made the filter here, so it will filter debris and that kind of stuff, so it doesn't go on the radiator itself. So the radiator stays clean and nice. You take this off, clean it. You take the filter off, wash it, dry it, put it back in. Like I said, they have magnets. They have two big magnets here that will just, boom, simple and straightforward, nothing too crazy. So we have two options of getting rid of the water. So one option is here, that is with the gravity, which means, that you open it up, and when it's working, it will drip the water out of here, continuously without nonstop. That's very nice. You can set your unit over your drain, or maybe they do include a hose here. Right here, so maybe your drain is a little bit further away. You always connect the hose and put it into your drain. That's one option. Option two, let's say you don't have a drain, you don't have a in-floor drain, right? But you have a sink or some kind of drain that is higher than the floor, and then the unit, it's going to be higher than the unit. So the option two is that you close this. So it has a tank inside that will fill up with water, and once it reaches a certain height, water pump will kick in. So this is the water pump right here. They do give you a hose that you connect it here, connect it, and then put your hose where in the sink or wherever you want to drain the water. So every time it fills up, water pump will kick in automatically. You don't need to set anything, it just does it by itself. It will just kick in, pump the water, turn off, fills up again, pump the water, turns off. So it's very nice, two ways, and then the water pump feature is always on. So what it means is that, like, let's say it drips, and then for some reason, I don't know what kind of reason, but like let's say for some reason it starts to fill up, this will kick in. So this one is by default automatically always on, just in case if it fills up too high, it'll just automatically pump the water out for you. So two options, very convenient. 70 pints of water per day. You are able to set the humidity between 10% and 90%, so it's very convenient too. You can set it wherever you want. 10% is very low, and this machine will do it. That is very nice too. This machine is able to do 5,000 square feet, up to 5,000 square feet of area. That is very nice, compared to the size of it. It's very nice. This machine does have, the Energy Star, so it'll, while it's working continuously, it'll just optimize, making sure that it doesn't use too much energy, that kind of stuff. But so this is the back of it, right here. So that's where the fan is gonna blow the air out. You could actually use it in commercial applications too, because it's actually made, sturdy, and a strong machine. Also, this unit was designed to be operated 24/7 non-stop, which which some of the dehumidifiers, especially like, you know, the plastic ones, you know, the cheaper ones, whatever, but they won't do that. But this machine is actually, you know, like made to last for long and, you know, work for long without breaking. If you're looking for a machine that is, you know, strong, durable, worry-free with water, which, you know, this machine will, you know, either pump the water or will just drain it by itself all the time continuously. If you're looking for a machine that will, you know, you could use, you know, like a commercial applications, or, you know, the machine that you just, you know, plug it in and let it run, you know, not thinking about it's gonna break. This is the sheet machine right here. This machine will definitely do its job and do its job nicely.